I kind of know that it's not your restaurant, but your picture's still on the website. Hello, Chef Marcus Guiliano here, and I'm your chef on a mission. Today's mission is sort of like business, I guess, business advice. I did a series on the dark side of partnerships based upon my two experiences that I've had with the dark side of partnerships. And here's something that keeps haunting me, and hopefully anybody who's watching this who's getting ready to go into a partnership can take some of these experiences I've had and learn from them and learn what not to do. So if you're watching this and you don't know, about 3 years ago, I decided to open a restaurant with a best friend of mine for a decade. I'm no longer in the restaurant. Him and I no longer talk. And I created this restaurant across the street from mine, so I created my competition. A lot of my guests are still very confused, and they think that I'm still over there based upon the beer list and based upon the musicians that they have, and just based upon my father's name is on the sign, because the name of my father's name is part of the business. So a lot of mistakes I made with that, a ton of mistakes. I just took it for granted that I had a best friend that had my best interest in mind. And that was, everything was truthful and upfront. And no matter who they are, do not trust anybody when it's going into business. As soon as you start involving money and this and that, and it's a disaster. I lose a lot of money because people still think it's my restaurant. People come to me. I had a guy last week that came to me and said, "Oh, I just had dinner across the street at your other restaurant, and I came over here to get the macaroons." I'm like, "That's not my other restaurant." He's like, "I had no idea. I had no idea. We would have come here to eat. We had no idea." And people have said, "Oh yeah, I like how you're serving organic food at both restaurants." I'm like, I don't know what they're serving, but I mean, I can't vouch for that. It's not my restaurant. So somebody just recently came to me and says, "Mike Marcus, I kind of know that it's not your restaurant, but your picture's still on the website. Your picture is on their website." And I said, "Man, this is the second or third time somebody's actually told me that. Why are your pictures on their website?" I'm like, well, thinking my food pictures. Yeah, a lot of the pictures on their website are my food, the pictures that I physically took with my camera. But what I realized they were saying was there's pictures of me and my wife on that website, on my competitor's website. And I'm looking on the website, I'm like, man, I don't see any pictures of actually me on there or my family. But it turns out, the last person that said it, I said, "You got to show me where you saw this. Please show me where you saw this." So they showed me what they Googled. I'm like, it's the TripAdvisor. It's a TripAdvisor listing. So lo and behold, I go on there, and there's 5 pictures with my daughter and my wife. Now, there's no physically, I didn't see any of me there. I'm not saying that there's not, another listing out there with pictures of me on it. But now again, this is my image on that. This is my branding. This is my 25 years of experience in the industry of doing what I've done and being able to use my branding. Now, I don't think they're doing it intentionally. I don't think they manage their TripAdvisor page at all. I don't think they do anything with it. But and who knows? Maybe they do. I've seen some responses to reviews, which means they've been in there and they've been doing stuff to it. But yeah, so there's a picture of my in-laws sitting at the bar there. My wife and my daughter the one picture at the bar. My daughter behind the bar there. My wife and another employee there. So yeah, I mean, if people are looking at this, and thinking that I'm still involved, then this is definitely hurting my business. This is something that everybody needs to think about. If you're joining a business and if you're putting up, pictures and things like that, you have to make sure that all traces, if you exit that business, that all traces of either one of you are removed, unless there's some kind of deal, right? Unless you have some kind of deal and it's a friendly breakup, and you're using the other person for marketing or something, and they know it. But other than that, man, make sure that you're off of everything. So I don't really know how to approach this right now. Do I send them a letter? Do I call TripAdvisor and say, hey, these pictures, are hurting my business because people think I'm associated with this business and I'm not associated with this business. So I got to kind of figure out my next step on how to handle this. If anybody has any suggestions, please leave a comment on that. But I think maybe just writing a letter might be the thing. Say, hey, here's the pictures. Please remove these off the website, so it doesn't cause any further confusion on this level that I'm still involved in the restaurant. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please hit like, subscribe, and pass it on.